Back to reality. All right, continuation of Sarah and the park. My final read through on editing before publishing to the Amazon. I don't like the number. I don't think that's right. I think it should be TW20. Okay. We're continuing. 402. 20. Oh, I spelled 20 right. I cannot spell 20 right now. TWENTY 20. All right. 20 minutes later, there was a small knock at the door, and her phone buzzed. It's Sam, he says. The hallway's clear. She tried to push out of his embrace, but when the door opened, he only released her when the door opened. But only when the door released. But only when the door opened, he released her. That's what's wrong. Yeah. She tried to push out of his embrace, but only when the door opened did he release her. He release, not past tense. Release her. 20 minutes later, there was a small knock on the door, and her phone buzzed. It's Sam. He says the hallway's clear. She tried to push out of his embrace, but only when the door opened did he release her, and she quickly sat on the couch. Then a freckled redhead looking all his 30 years, plus some, came through the door. His clear brows went up at the sight of the giant's scowling face. Sarah, are you okay? I'm fine. He just slept the whole time. Good morning, sir. Sarah, did you respond to Billy? Has been worried. May I check my phone? Giant. Oh. Space. Oh, it needs a comma there. That's what's wrong. I'm fine. He just slept the whole time. Good morning, sir. Sarah, did you respond to Billy? He's been worried. May I check my phone? The giant grudgingly passed her the phone. There was a text that must have come in while she slept. Okay, eating with Sam and the giant. Stay in class. Did you have any trouble, Sam? No. I did get yelled at by Bernard and sent to the 10th floor to do rooms, but I'm fine. Have you rescued people before? Asked the giant. Period. Sam uncovered all the dishes and pulled up a chair, crossing his legs, crossing his legs and speaking conspiratorially. Well, the occasional girl who's been dragged into a room, or someone far too drunk. The guys in the bar, they're such victims. Such idiots. When and if I ever do drink, I will not be doing it in public. Oh, this needs to be... There, that's Sarah all talking, I realized. Such idiots. When and if I ever do drink, I will not be doing it in public. And your reason? Because I've seen too much. I worked in the bar far too long for it to hold any fascination for me. Yes, with your 32 years. Sam just looked confused. at the two of them. Sarah, if you're going to be okay, I'm just going to leave the food. I still have 10 things. And I've been spelling 32, even though it's not. Necessary. Sam just looked confused at the two of them. Sarah, if you're going to be okay, I'm just going to leave the food. I still have 10 things to do before I can clock out. Thank you, Sam. Sarah, I checked. You never clocked in. I wasn't working last night. I was going to try to pick up an extra shift when I came across this one. And you're going to be okay with him? Yes, Sam, I'm going to be fine. He has called his people to come get him. I promise you'll get your share. I'm worried about you. I'm more worried about you than the money. Sam extended his hand. This is out of order, But I'm Sam and you are. You don't need to know my name. The redhead scrunched his face and tipped his head. At least the first name, so we don't refer to you in a derogatory manner. We will give you a terrible nickname like Bed Bunny or Sleeping Beauty, she giggled. That is it, she said it. That is it. She said it. Yeah, this is where, oh, here. Sam, I'm going to make it clear who's talking. Sam snorted. S-N-O-R, snorted. That is it. She said it. Sleeping Beauty it is. I don't need to know your name now. Sam dropped his hand. Sleeping Beauty said he was hungry, so am I. Thank you for the food. Sam snorted again, and started towards the door. All right, Sleeping Beauty, it was nice to meet you. Jack was furious, but these people did not need to know any more about him than they already did. You call me if you have any problems, little girl. Do you know what, Sam? I'm going to tell you something. Sarah took his arm and leaned on him. I'm going to tell you something about Sleeping Beauty. What? I don't know what their plan was for that man. Why were they bringing him a woman? But he was out. Why they were bringing him a woman? He was out cold. Out. A woman wouldn't have been able to do anything with him anyways. Anyway. No, with an S. It's a colloquialism. I'm going with it. A woman wouldn't have been able to do anything with him anyways. I don't think anyone would have been compromised. They could have taken compromising pictures. True, but certainly there would have been no pregnancy to be concerned about. She laughed and put her finger up and then bent it down. Sam snorted again. All right, I understand. You be good. The redhead nodded and pushed the cart out of the room, shutting the door behind him. The click of the lock was loud in the quiet room. Her phone rang again from an unlabeled number, and an angry older woman's voice pierced the room. Why didn't you come home last night? Are you out whoring still? Your brother needs that money. How dare you disgrace the family? Mom, I was working, don't. Yes, on your back. I know you very well. Sarah rolled her eyes and dropped the couch. The pimp didn't pay, so I have no money for you. There was a screech on the other end. Sarah simply lowered her shoulders and ended the call. Do you often talk to your mother like that? Oh, that way? Never, I'm just over it. You lied again. You still live at home. Last night was my end. I'm never going back. Because you took care of me? No. I already made that decision before I was going to move into the dorms here. Billy told me he didn't think they had any room. I was going to have to bunk with someone. Were you going to bunk with Billy? No, and I already told him that. Am I what? Your mother is quite convinced you're impure. Well, my mother has a very dirty mind, and she never liked me. How can you say that about your mother? You heard her. That's a normal conversation from her end. Jack couldn't understand parents like that. He knew they existed. Is she your stepmother? No, she's my mother. My father is a stepfather. It needs a hyphen. Or no together. Oh, does he bother you? Yes. Jack's heart seized. Oh, lowercase s. Then she continued, he always wants money for gambling. He's a big gambler. That's where all the money goes. My brother's not much better. And your brother is? A little brother, 16 in a month. He's 16 in a month, and my mom wants to buy him a car. He can't keep track of a phone. How can he have a car? No, that is true. That should be... And it's not a question mark. It's like a statement. How can he have a car? Anyways, he doesn't work. Your mother knows you have a job. Yes, she thinks I work at a grocery store stocking shelves late at night. That's where she thinks I am, and don't tell her any different. Once in a while, she goes down there and throws a tantrum, and I get a call from old friends. Really? Yes. And then I appear and let her rant at me. So that's why she thinks you work. Oh, that's what she thinks you... That's not a good sentence. That is what she thinks you do for work. Do for work. And you keep up this illusion for her? She thinks you do for work, and you keep this illusion up for her, comma, I'm gonna do this, comma, why? Question mark. Oh. Of course. She does not need to know anything more about my business. And what do your parents do? Aren't you going to find all that out? Why don't you tell me? She rolled her eyes at him. My father works overseas in a mine. That's what I've been told. My stepfather doesn't work. He hurt his leg. My mother doesn't work either. She keeps the house. So, they live off of your stepfather's disability, and whatever my father sends. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be maintenance for me, comma, from what my grandmother told me. And what does your grandmother do? She grows grass. She passed away a few years ago. You don't seem too broken up about it. I've already cried over that. She was one of the few people in this world who was sweet and kind to me. She passed long ago. So you have no ties. Well, I do. Suddenly a cold chill ran down her back. I do. Sam, Billy, and Martin, Sally, and Catherine. They're my friends, and they know where I am. I didn't mean that I'm going to. You should have no fear of me. Oh. I do. Obviously. You're connected enough. Her phone rang again. The number he recognized. She whispered, and somebody wants to do you harm, and I poked my nose in. He wanted to put her at ease and give her his name. He rose and walked to the door as far from her as possible. So the call, possible comma, so the call could be private. He listened carefully, then turned and stared at her. You really are a junior in high school. No, that's how he talks. You really are a junior in high school. Yes, I have a year and a half to go. I could finish faster if I did not have to work so much, but that's how life is. He narrowed his eyes at her and then turned his back, continuing to listen carefully. He returned to the edge of the bed and the bacon. Your friends are going to be fine. They should be. But you are clearly identifiable. She looked at him with knitted brows. Someone had gotten to the security tapes before my people did, and you are clearly identifiable. Oh. I guess I should have worn a hat too. My point being, you're going to be coming with me. Her eyebrows shot up. That's not part of the deal. We rescue you. You reward us. It's my turn. I'm going to protect you now. I will arrange for a different job for your little helpers. Why? I'm feeling generous. That's not a good enough reason. Look, we did you a favor. You need to pay us. That's all that needs to happen. You're not understanding me. They have your face. All of your information. They're looking for you now. I'm going to do this, comma, there. Her eyes widened. Oh, I see. Okay, then. There was a knock at the door. Mr. Braddock. Mr. Braddock, may I come in? Jack unlocked the door, and two equally matched men, but for their coloring and leaner than the Sleeping Beauty, pushed in with packages filling their arms. Jack locked the door behind them. This is Sarah. Both men nodded in her direction. And you are? They both looked at Jack. Jack spoke. Gomez and Swanson. They're going to be our escorts. She narrowed her eyes at the men. As long as my friends are okay. She pulled on her brow. Borrowed trench coat and put it. Blah, 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 blah. She narrowed her eyes at the men. As long as my friends are okay. She pulled up her borrowed trench coat and put up her chin. Are we leaving now? No, ma'am. He's going to need a few minutes. Jack handed Gomez her phone. Check it and put it tracking on it. He took a package from one of the men and entered the bathroom. The two well-matched men settled on the end of the bed and began unpackaging things. Can I ask you something? Do you often do this? What, ma'am? Sleeping Beauty there. Does he often get taken advantage of in hotel rooms? Ma'am, I don't understand the question. Is he often drugged and then left to be assaulted by some random woman? It's not the first time. Ma'am, we appreciate your efforts. One man looked at the other, and then they continued their work. See, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine without the hyphen. Looked at the other, and then they continued their work. Gomez handed her back her phone. I have put in our contacts, including Jack's. Who's Jack? The man you rescued, Jack Braddock. She shrugged her shoulders. Well, he had not shared with me her shoulder. She shrugged her shoulder, singular. She always does one shoulder. I think I have one place above where I had her do both shoulders, but mostly she does one. She shrugged her shoulder. Well, he had not shared with me. How did you save him? In my phone. How did you save him in my phone? So it's clear what we're talking about. How did you save him in my phone? Jack Braddock. Oh no, that will not do. I'm not having anyone see that I have him as a contact. She held up her phone to show them her correction. She enjoyed the looks of the two men. She enjoyed the looks the two men gave each other. I suppose you two are in there as well. Gomez, right. Now it's Tweedledee. And that would make me Tweedledum. She smiled back at Swanson. I need a new phone. Both men frowned. I already decided I need my own. This is the one my parents pay for. I will pay for it myself. Oh, I will pay for the new phone. Pay for the new phone rather than it. The new PH phone. I will pay for I will pay. This is the one my parents pay for. I will pay for the new phone myself, but I need the cheapest plan possible. Ma'am, do you understand what's happening here? Yes, I'm going to be escorted off the premises and I won't be able to come back to my job for a while. Ma'am, you're a target for a competitor. You may not be able to come back to this job for quite some time. But I'm going to be able to go to school, right? Probably not. Not in the near future. I'm sure we can arrange something. She huffed and clicked her tongue. The angry face that woke her up looked much more attractive, now scrubbed and moist, his stubble glistening. Scrubbed and moist, his stubble glistening in the light. Yeah, I like that. Nope, glistening in the light. How is that word wrong? I'm going to check the spelling. Because obviously the computer doesn't like it. See, I spelled it right. Glistening. Oh, maybe I did not. I did not spell it right. G-L-I-S. Oh, we're going to write that down. I will not remember this. G-L-I-T-E-N-I-N-G. I did misspell it. Thank you, computer, for noticing. But the computer didn't know that's the word I was trying to spell. G-L-I-S-T-E-N-I-N-G. Glistening. Now it's still glisten. They want me to do it past tense because I had the past tense up there, scrubbed and moist. His stubble's now glistening. Glistened. Nope, I want it glistening in the light. Nope, I know it doesn't agree, but it's because I want it to, because it's like he's talking about past tense thing and then this sentence is about present tense. I'm doing it on purpose. I moved your 10 back, but you have to meet with them today. I can take her back to the old house. No, Ravenwood House. Best security. Very good, sir. Oh, and she's going to need something. What am I going to need? Something to change into. You cannot live your entire life in a trench coat and a torn skirt, can you? She gave him a foul expression. That's not coming out of my settlement. You people have expensive tastes. I can buy my own clothes. Ma'am will take care of it. It had been a week since the rescue, and she had been unceremoniously... This is a new chapter. Sorry. It's been a week since the rescue, and she had been unceremoniously dropped in a large house. Beautiful and empty except for an old woman who'd spent her days dusting and cooking her fabulous dishes. She had heard from no one. The end of the second week she received. It could be at the... Yeah, we'll do that. I know it's better. At the end of the second week. I don't know. I kind of like because it's like I like it. It kind of makes you uncomfortable because it's supposed to be reflecting the fact that she's uncomfortable. That's why I did it that way. The end of the second week, she received an email notice that she was being placed on academic suspension due to lack of attendance. Still, no contact from the giant Sleeping Beauty. This man was truly unconscionable. She had been given strict instructions to not reach out or respond to anything, but anything. She had been given strict instructions to not reach out or respond to anything until she was given the all clear. But it needs a breath. It needs something. It's too much words. She had been given strict instructions to not reach out or respond to anything until she was given the all clear. I guess it doesn't. It feels like it does, though. Billy and Sam both had texted assuring her they were okay, but were instructed not to communicate with her further. She was beginning to lose her mind. A princess locked in an ivory tower. By the end of the third week, she had thoroughly blocked her mother, stepfather, and brother, as well as every every number her mother used to berate her. It made her even more determined to have her new phone. Every time she thought of leaving, she remembered the deep, muffled voices of the men she had heard, and that fateful night alerting her to Sleeping Beauty's peril. If she were patient, If she were patient and none had actually been forgotten, this truly could be a good thing. That's what she told herself when she realized her scholarships had been lost as well. He would be sure to compensate her, wouldn't he? That should be a question mark. She would not end up like this sweet old woman in the kitchen telling her the same story about how they used to grow yams back home. The first day of the fourth week, she finally broke down and texted Sleeping Beauty. "Have you forgotten me?" There was no reply. She texted Tweedledee next. "Have you forgotten me?" I gotta check something about Tweedledee, because I want to make sure I'm consistently spelling his name. See, it's two different words. I'm gonna come down here and fix it. Aha, this is where it is. Okay. The first day of the fourth week, she finally broke down and texted Sleeping Beauty. "Have you forgotten me?" There was no reply. She texted Tweedledee next. "Have you forgotten me?" He replied quickly. "No, stay put." She texted Tweedledee back quickly, for at least he had responded. "May I please get a new phone and SIM card?" New phone number and SIM card. "Why? My mother will not leave me alone. I would like to turn off this phone." "I will check. Anything else?" "I'm over hanging out in oversized t-shirts. May I order some clothes?" "Let me check. After you get the new phone, you'll have an account and can order what you want." "Great. Anything else?" "Am I going to be allowed to finish school? I am now on academic suspension and I've lost my scholarships." "We will work on that." "Thank you. When am I getting my phone?" "You'll have it this evening." She hoped Tweedledee would keep his word. New chapter. He was handsome, even with a thin scar on his cheek that crossed over his jawline, interrupting the dark stubble. It had a value to his look. She only noticed it in the bright morning light falling on them from the wall of glass. Tweedledee presented her a new phone and card. Madam, I will be setting this up for you. Tweedledee presented her a new phone and card. That's fine. I'm leaving it. What did they think it should be? Fine, it can have a width. Since the computer's just desperate for it. Hungry. Tweedledee presented her with a new phone and card. It's an extra word I don't want. Madam, I will be setting this up for you. Give me your old phone in a moment. He lowered himself to the plush leather couch she'd been sleeping on most of the last 4 weeks. She'd taken the time in the afternoon to shave her legs and bits, but now she felt embarrassed sitting around with this large man in just an old t-shirt and boxers. None of Sleeping Beauty's pants fit her, and the old woman's clothes were far too small. What is the plan for me? You need to stay put. I'm serious. So am I. I'm going a bit mad here. Sorry, comma. There's really nothing more to say. My friends say they are okay, but they can't contact me, and that was weeks ago. No, it's best they don't. They are still okay. Yes, they're fine. So why am I, the beauty, locked in a tower? You have been identified, and people are still actively searching for you. Is my mother okay? I thought you said she was contacting you. She regularly curses me out, but that does not tell me if she's okay. It's always hard for me to distinguish between real trouble or just annoyance. Your family is being observed as well. We are watching out for them. It is still best if you do not contact them. I'm happy not to, however. It will be best if you no longer use your old phone or any accounts, media or otherwise, as we already cautioned you. On this new phone, do not activate or access any of your old accounts. Do not use or link it to your old accounts. You have a new phone, comma, and number, but can only make calls or texts right now. So it's a new phone and number. No, it's correct the way I've got it. It's a phone, and she's also got a new number. Not a phone number, but a new phone and a new number. You have a new phone and number, but can only make calls or texts right now. You can surf the web, but do not create any accounts. Log in as a visitor. You need to disappear. I'm going to take your old phone today, and it's going to broadcast where you are and then disappear far from this location. Are you suggesting I'm going to have fallen off a cliff somewhere? That is a good idea. It should be a car wreck off a cliff, a fiery car wreck. That could be arranged, but there's too much paperwork. Just disappearing in the woods along an isolated road is easier to accomplish, and you don't need to be dead, just disappeared. Not exactly the future Sarah had planned for herself. All right, fine, but who am I going to become? You'll reincarnate later. Don't expect anything until after Christmas. It just makes me laugh when I say that. After Christmas? That's months away. Things take time. She pursed her lips. and felt the sting of tears beginning to too well in her eyes. It was not for the loss of her family. That was a relief, and she was happy to escape. You know, this could all be one, comma, that. That could work. It was not for the loss of her family. That was a relief, comma, and she was happy to escape. Oh. But her friends, she would miss them. Before handing him her phone, "Can I keep one picture?" She pulled up one of her grandmother. No, it's her grandmother and herself, because it's singular, we're talking about. It's fine. I know the computer doesn't like it, but it makes sense. She pulled up one of her grandmother and herself when she was small and the sun was shining on them. "Can they be stored somewhere so I can look at them later?" "I will look into it." She took a picture with her new phone of her grandmother smiling back at her. It was truly the only thing she would miss. All right, she finally handed him her old phone. That was not bright. She looked up at him. The tears finally spilled down her cheeks. "It's all I have." "It could compromise you and cost you." Her face crumpled and she hit delete. "I trust you. I have to trust you." She rose and left the room. Her new phone buzzed a few times. It was a welcome text and instructions on how to purchase anything she desired. She was not in the mood to shop and simply curled up under her blankets. The joy of getting away from her family was overshadowed by having to give up the last bit of memory of her grandmother, the only family that had shown her kindness. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo, new chapter. Another 2 weeks had passed, and her closet was full of comfortable pajamas, one for every day of the week, and loungewear that was not attractive on her, but comfortable when she did her dancing and yoga in the front room. She'd taken up the sports to keep her sanity in the second week of her isolation, but she stopped there, ordering clothing, not sure what her life was going to be. Clothes maketh the man or the woman. She spent hours creating wardrobes for different life paths, sending the pictures to Tweedledee through text. Was she going to be a secretary or a chef, a housemaid, or a hostess? Right now, comma, she was a high school dropout, uneducated and unemployed. Right now, she's a high school dropout, uneducated. I think, even though it's the wrong tense, I'm going to go with was, because it just sounds better, even though it's not right. Right now, she was a high school dropout, uneducated, and unemployed. It's like how you talk about yourself. It was late and dark when she was flipping through her channels on the big screen TV in the front room, nestled in the end of the couch. She had at least taken advantage of the time to learn to cook better. The old woman was a wealth of knowledge and patient. Did I do the wrong patient? Patience? I don't think that's right. I think it's the wrong thing, but I'm gonna check. Yeah, it is. It was wrong. It's not the right tense, so I'm going to go back. P-A-T-I-E-N-T. P-A-T-I-E-N-T. Okay, good. She wealth of knowledge and patient. I know you don't like it, but it's too bad. She learned all the old woman's tricks in the kitchen and even became more efficient at cleaning of the bathroom. There wasn't much else to do. There was a library, but it held architectural books, which she found repetitive. She found repetitious and boring. In science fiction, there seemed to be complete collections of some authors. These two did little to pique her interest. Oh, that's the wrong peak. Very good. Thank you for finding that, computer. These two did little to pique her interest. She always had access to a computer and the internet, with the same warning that she was not to use any old accounts, nor create any new ones. No, new, making it difficult to do anything substantial. She could save nothing, so creation was futile. When the horrible old monster of a clock in the front room struck 9, she made a resolute decision, which, as she had done under the dark boughs of the tree, When the horrible old monster of a clock in the front room struck 9, she made a resolute decision, much as she had done under the dark boughs of the trees that night. She would demand that they give her a new identity now, so she could create counts again. She needed to live again. A morbid thought hit her, and she did a thorough search for information of her demise. There was no mention of her falling from a cliff, or dying in a fiery crash, or even missing. There needs to be comments, maybe? It's because there's too many. It's okay. I'm gonna get rid of the commas. It's a device I'm using. Like, the way her brain is working right now. It's okay. I want her to be like vomiting the thought. A morbid thought hit her, and she did a thorough search for information of her demise. There was no mention of her falling off a cliff, or dying, or in a fiery crash, or even missing. Then she decided to do a deep search, and why she hadn't done it before she couldn't say. On Jack Braddock. There was lots of fluff articles. He was the second son of somebody. He would have been one of the high-end clients of her hotel, normally found above the 38th floor. Oh, let's reread that, shall we? I need to go to notes. High-end. Okay. That's later. For later on, you guys will understand why it's important. There were a lot of fluff articles. He was the second son of somebody. He would have been one of the high-end clients of her hotel, normally found on the 38th floor, and then or above, not and above. His family owned a different chain than the hotel he was found in. The Regency he was found in was owned by the Marksman family. She had met the CEO once accidentally. At first, he seemed like a nice older gentleman, that just past middle age, but he had captured her hand between the two of his and looked into her eyes longingly. She had extracted herself from the duty early that night. He would have been trouble, and later she had heard he was. She went down the rabbit hole through many chimes of the monster clock, and woke with drier eyes and a better understanding of the business of the man she had saved. Get rid of the comma? Really? I guess so. I don't know, the computer likes it better. It was still dark, but after a shower and donning her most cuddliest pajamas, she began texting Sleeping Beauty. She would force her new life out of him today if it killed her. That thought made her start to laugh hysterically, a snort occasionally escaping her. Sweetheart, when are you going to come and see me? No response. You've locked me up all this time and you're not going to come and visit? No response. Memories of our long summer nights together keep me, but I still miss you. Still no response. I love your nude photos. Can you send me some more? Can you send me one where you're a bit more proud? Still no response. She tried again. Don't forget the keys this time. She finally got a response. Stop it. At least the number wasn't fake. No. I really do want to have dinner with you. Come home. No response. You can't keep ignoring me. Come to dinner or I'll do something drastic, like releasing your nude photos. Hour. I'm going to say hour. Fine, was his only response. Sarah's heart began to race, and she tore out of the room to find the old woman to help her make his favorite dishes. Doodly-doo. Doodly-doo. New chapter. In the middle of the Symington Group's capital meeting, a text message popped up. That should be apostrophe. Right? No, I think I've got the apostrophes wrong. No S. Symington Groups apostrophe groups meeting. Because it's the group is the possessive of the meeting. There. In the middle of the Symington's there. I think I have the apostrophes right. I'm sure someone can comment on that for me. In the middle of the Symington Group's meeting, a text message popped up on the bottom of the large screen. Jack tried to disconnect, but they kept coming. He tried to make the excuse to all that were in attendance that it was simply a wrong number, and he was trying to ignore it, but the snickers and laughter only grew louder. I'm simply going to respond to them. Maybe they will stop. Why don't you block the number if you know him? Suggested the paunchy man. Blah, 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 blah. Why don't you block the number if you don't know them? Suggested the paunchy man to his right. I will have to investigate it. I will have it investigated. Though he knew perfectly well whose number it was. After the implied handcuffs text, most people simply burst out laughing. He was grateful that she'd stopped after he agreed to dinner. She's really going to be mad at whoever the SOB is that she thinks she's texting when he doesn't show up, said the same paunchy man. I bet you're going to get some nude photos. Oh, I bet you're going to get some nudes. The room erupted in laughter again. He did need to address the child. He had let her languish, but he'd been out of the country for 3 weeks, dealing with the chaos his cousins had created, and now was in a week-long seminar where he's the guest speaker. It would be 24 hours of travel. And he had 2 more days of meetings. He'd already given his speech, and though it was impolite to leave early, he would make an exception this time. Alone in his hotel room, he texted her number back. I can't come back home for at least 3 days. Please be patient. What? You promised to come home tonight. I'm not in the country. I just need you to stop. Oh, I just needed you to stop. If you are clear with me and communicate, I won't get panicked not knowing where you are. It was a meeting when you sent those messages. I was in a meeting when you sent those messages. What kind of meeting do you have at 4 o'clock in the morning? It was 4 in the afternoon where I am. Sorry, I couldn't imagine others would be around you. I wanted to catch you. That's why I tried you so early. You got me. What am I supposed to do while I'm here waiting for you? Continue to wait. What do kids normally do? Watch things on the internet. But I don't have an account, so I can do... No. But I do not have an account, comma, so I cannot do anything. What do you mean you don't have an account? I cannot write anything because I have no place to store the work, so I can do no research. And I need accounts. I need things so I can save my efforts. Oh, I thought you'd just be happy being at home. The first week was pleasant, but the last month has been excruciatingly boring, to the point of madness. So you're going to have to entertain me now. I've decided. You have decided. If you're going to keep me, you're going to have to talk with me. You don't understand you're staying there for your own... You do understand you're staying there for your own safety. I do, but there comes a point in the vastness of solitude when rationality leaves oneself. How come you talk like that? I looked you up. You're not that old. I am not. You're young, considering what you've done in the world, but I suppose you had a head start. I suppose I did, but my work is mine. I simply had easier access to startup capital. So you looked me up. I had little else to do. Every article, every gossip magazine, even your annual reports. I want to know what kind of creature was keeping me. And did they give you clarity? No, not at all. But you've appeared in public with the same woman over the years, so you appear to be faithful, or good, or very good, and I'm not keeping anyone from there, and not blah, 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 blah. Faithful or very good at hiding. Oh, so you appear to be faithful or very good and not keeping anyone for nefarious reasons. I mean, you have not come to visit me in the middle of the night, and I don't plan to. Good, that's a relief. It is. It has never been my interest to be someone's bedmate and nothing more. Really? Oh, I guess I need to spell really right. No. Look, I'm a smart egg. You've seen my grades. I have awards, you know. You don't anymore. What? Oh, yes. My new identity. Are you giving me a high school diploma with that? So I can go to college. That could be arranged. Can I do online classes? Can I start now? That would relieve my boredom. I will ask someone to look into that. And the accounts. Girls will be in contact and set you up with whatever you want. Would you play a game of chess with me? No. I mean online. Play something. We can talk while we play. Are you truly that bored? Yes. I cannot right now, but I'll be free in an hour. Will you keep your word this time? When have I broken it? Think about it. Hundreds of times. How have I broken my word hundreds of times? Well, in my dreams, you're always promising me that you'll come for me, but you never do. Are you well? Yes, I think so, but I wouldn't know. I've only seen one man, Tweedledee. Once, and my constant companion has been a sweet old woman who has told me the same stories daily for the last 2 months, and I have quite lost it. 1 hour. I'll hold you to that promise. You know, over this time, I have imagined that you have hundreds of these villas all over the country. No, the world, secreting women. I assume women. That's the problem with being left alone to my imagination. There was no response. She would give him an hour, but then barrage him with more of her insanity. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo, new chapter. She consumed a bowl of noodles and 3 apples, trying to distract herself, making herself sick from the combination. Finally, her new phone vibrated. You kept your word. That is my habit. I've sent you the link. Now, call me so we can talk like humans, and I can hear your deep baritone. Her phone finally rang, and his deep timbre was soothing to her nerves. fine. I called you. What do you want to make? Why do you always make me feel like I owe you money? You do owe me money. I'm keeping you safe. That should be good enough. No, we agreed. You agreed, or rather assumed there would be a cash reward. Well, I need to earn money. If rescuing you from a certain doom is not worth any coin, then how do I earn money, locked in a room like this? I'm safe, but in the same situation. No worse. I need my high school diploma. I need that degree. I need to be able to go to college. Do you know what the earning power of a high school dropout is? Don't worry, we'll make sure you have one. And you will attend college, but understand it will not be in person. You mean to keep me locked in a room the whole time? Yes, for now. Can you visit me? I know you're not available right now, and if you're telling me 24 hours travel, that means you'll probably need to fly, and that means you're on the other side of the planet from where I am. Yes, and I have a lot of business still to do over here. My time is precious. Well then, let's start the game. I gave you the code. Look. Pawn to e4. See, that's that simple. Good. We're interacting. This is what I miss most about my grandmother. I would snuggle in her side and hold her hand as I fell asleep. I don't have anyone's hand to hold. For a decade now. You truly have no one. I have friends, and they are good friends, and Tweedledee says you're looking after them. Clever move, but it's your move, so you have never dated. Sarah snorted. No, when would I have time? Besides, who would have me? I'm not prime dating material. Why, you're young and pretty. Well, thank you, I guess. But I have a gambler for a stepfather, a shrew of a mother, and a lazy rude brother. I wouldn't wish them on anyone. They don't exist for you anymore. You do understand that. Why is it not there? You know what? I'm going to fix this by saying this, doing it like this. Oh. They don't exist for you anymore. You do understand that. Yes, I suppose. So, what does that mean? It means, he was quiet for a moment. Hey, Bernard. Can you clear the room? No, it needs to not be Bernard. I keep saying Bernard. Bernard. Let's see. I want to make sure there is a Bernard and I'm not losing my mind. I think there is. We need the employees. Ah, it is Bernard. Good. I'm not crazy. Well. It means he was quiet for a moment. Hey, Bernard, can you clear the room and shut the door? He was quiet for another moment. What it means is that you are now a distant cousin of mine. Really? Very distant, but it will give you status. Your parents have passed, though. You're coming to live with me. I am? Yes, you are my... Oh, you are in my care to attend school. This will give you status, but will potentially cause you trouble being connected to my name. Why are you doing this? You're a girl. What else can I do for you? Send you off into the world as a nameless orphan? It might be safer. It might be, but you're going to be living under my roof, and you need to have some reason to be there. There are other things than being your cousin. Like what? Like your wife. Are you proposing to marry me? No, I suppose not. I could also be a maid. Yes, you could do that, but that would not give you the status. I don't know if I care about having the status. I've attended plenty of those fancy parties you've been photographed at. However, I was on the wait staff serving drinks, and I'm quite sure I'm not someone who wants to be in fancy dress. They're quite vicious. I've met a few decent ones among them, but most of them are pit vipers. Yes, they are. At least we agree on that. I suppose in the future you'll be marrying a pit viper? Oh, yes, they are. And then she says, at least we agree on that. I suppose in the future you'll be marrying a pit viper? Most likely. Do you have a pit viper in particular that you like? Perfect. Oh, lower class P. Okay, probed. No, actually they repulse me. All women are just pit vipers. The pit vipers. There was a long silence and 3 moves before he could not stand her silence. I never asked what degree you wanted. I figure hotel management. I have an understanding of how to deal with horrible customers, and I've done the work long enough to believe I can make a decent living at it. You could, but it's limited. True. It doesn't sound like your passion, just a way to make money. Yes, of course. Have you ever considered cosmetic surgery? No. I noticed you do not seem to wear makeup. No, I do not have the money or time for it. And I never developed the skill. Your grades were good. Are you reading my profile now? Because you're not playing. Yes, I'm looking at your grades. You're good at math. Is this unusual for girls? Sexist pig. Aren't all rich men playboys and always have 10 mistresses? But no, I suppose there were not many girls in my advanced calculus class, nor statistics. Well, that is something. Have you ever read a contract before? I know what a contract is, but I'm poor and underage, so have little reason to have seen one. Would you be willing to come and work for me? Well, if I'm going to earn money, then yes. I'm not going to do it for free, unlike your rescue. She clicked her tongue at him. I agree, I still owe you, and you could acquire another favor that I would owe you. There was a beeping on his end. Sorry, I need to take this. We will talk later. She spoke to the giant TV, her other best friend. Well, at least he does not sound like a complete creep, and he's going to let me go to school. She was relieved to have gotten somewhere with the man. Doodly-doo. New chapter. Jack had decided not to delay his return any longer after his conversation with Sarah, and the call after hers had convinced him to leave that night. He had only just returned to the States and heard about new trouble with his cousins abroad. He sent Swanson. No. Broad period. He sent Swanson sent Swanson. No. Back to be hands-on. Is that one word? Hands-on? Computer will tell me. He sent Swanson back to be handsy-on, as I thought it was. There you go. It's hyphen. And heard about... He only just returned to the States and heard about new trouble with his cousins abroad. He sent Swanson back to be hands to be. Hands on. Now having even more fires to put out upon returning home. He just wanted to sleep for a few hours before. Back. Not even leaving the air. He sent back. Not letting him even leave the airport. He sent Swanson back, not letting him He sent Swanson back, not letting him. Oh, I got this in the wrong order. Okay, I gotta reorder these words. Oh, I hate that my throat is like this. He sent Swanson back, not letting him. He sent Swanson back, not letting him leave the airport. To be his hands and ears. To be his agent. That's good. I like that. He sent Swanson back, not letting him leave the airport. To be his agent. No. Arms. Eyes. And ears. He sent Swanson back, not letting him leave the airport. Not letting him even leave. I like that, even. Because it's like he didn't even let him leave the airport. He just sent him back on the plane. He sent Swanson back, not letting him even leave the airport. To be his arms, eyes, and ears. Abroad. Now, having even more fires to put out upon returning home, he just wanted to sleep for a few hours. Sleep for a few hours before dealing with the mess. Now, having even more fires to put out upon returning home. Dealing with the mess. Now having even more fires to put out upon returning home, he just wanted to sleep for a few hours before dealing with the mess. I think this could be part of that paragraph. Because it's like all this, it just keeps hitting him. That's the whole idea, is that he doesn't stop for him. Now having even more fires to put out upon returning home, he just wanted to sleep for a few hours before dealing with the mess. But his grandmother would not hold back, and she was anxious about a girl that she'd wanted for him, announcing her marriage. The old woman was trying to convince him he had missed out on an opportunity to increase the reach of the family. He needed to stop Grandma Till's fretting, but most importantly, he had to arrange for Sarah. His men were good, but there were certain things he needed to attend to before seeing her. Toodly-doo. Tweedledee arrived with the sun. Gomez, welcome to the tower. Thank you? Look, here, big man, you're my only visitor in 2 months. Come and sit and have a talk with me. Come and sit and talk with me. I have things to deliver to you. She excitedly jumped up. No, don't go get them yourself. I'll bring them in. You're parked in the garage, right? So I'm not going outside. She pushed past him, and the trunk was full of bags. She tried to grab all of them. They pressed out in a large fan, and were obviously too heavy for her. So, tell me, what are they? Gomez grabbed the last few and followed her back into the house, smiling at the ridiculous spectacle she made, trying to walk sideways through the halls. She put all the bags down on the short table in front of the couch. So tell me what all these things are. Are they all for me? Yes. Yes, they're all for me. How exciting. She pulled out the first piece of cloth. It was a long, dark skirt, far finer a cloth than she'd ever worn. Clothing? She dug through more of the bags. Is it all clothing? Yes. Well, you're going to need some clothing to go to the office. And you purchased nothing yourself that would be appropriate. You're going to be Mr. Braddock's secretary. One of his secretaries. One of them? Yes, those were his instructions. Gomez pulled out a small package from his coat. You will need to apply this to your face every day. She unwrapped the small paper bag. The box inside had dozens and dozens of little squares of paper with the same large brown dots. She finally realized they were temporary tattoos. He'd handed her a second bag. This one revealed a lumpy prosthetic, a large, ugly-looking scar. There are multiple copies of it in some sort of tube of adhesive. And what am I supposed to do with these things? Wear them every day, make sure they're placed in the same spot. And where do you want me to place this atrocious thing on my face? Well, it's best if you... He took the box from her and pulled out one of the ragged scars. Go wash your face and I'll teach you how to put it on. When she returned, he thought she looked far too young to be doing this. When she returned, he realized, he thought she looked far too young to be doing this. The fuzz around her face had gotten wet and collected into small ringlets. She looked rather angelic. Here, start under your eye. It's a little big for your face, but that's okay. The more dramatic, the better. The thing hooked back towards her jawline. Oh, too many quotes. Am I supposed to just go barefaced with this thing on? No, you can put on some rouge. He stood and grabbed a small orange bag amongst the others on the short table. I don't know if this color works for you. I bought a few. Well, seeing as how I don't wear lipstick or anything else, I really don't know what to do. You know how to put on chapstick. Do that. He pulled out a pencil and held her chin as he drew on her eyebrows, making them thicker and closer together. Well, That's certainly a different look. Her natural, delicate brows now looked like they needed to be seriously groomed. She had always liked her own, thinking they were one of her best features. The scar was distracting and drew one's eye. I don't think I'll use the lipstick. It tastes strange. At least put on lip gloss. At least put lip gloss on. Keep your lips shiny. Alright, now I want you to take these upstairs and try them on. Make up some outfits. You're going to need at least 6 to rotate through. What if I don't like something? This is not a fashion show. Come on, I'll help you. Her eyes widened. Carry your packages. I know what look he's requested, so I can tell you if it works. She narrowed her eyes at him, but she took some of the bags and started up the stairs. He sat on the couch. He sat in the chair in her room by the window, the one she normally lounged in, and crossed his long legs while fiddling with his phone. Well, hurry up. This shouldn't take too long. She started pulling out things and found a dark pleated skirt and a cream-colored top. There should be a jacket that matches that skirt. She found something in the same material, held it up in triumph, and ran into the bathroom. With a high-collared, long-sleeved blouse, she looked frumpy. That would be the word for it. She brushed her hair up and back, twisting the bun high on top of her head. There, that finished the look. She thought of a librarian from the Edwardian period. She looked like. Here. That's it. That makes more sense than what I wrote. It's okay. There, that finished the look. She thought she looked like a librarian from the Edwardian period. She swung the door open and spun into the room, her skirt blooming out. Perfect, yes, that's exactly the look he was going for. You mean old school marm? Or librarian? I'm going to check that spelling really quick. Huh, I spelled it right. School, it's all one word, school marm. That's why it's misspelled. What woman in her right mind would dress like this? If you want to come out, you're going to need to wear this. This is what he's requested. You mean I'm going to leave the house for reals? You'll start on Tuesday in the office. Why not Monday? He's not there Monday. He won't be back until Tuesday. That was a half-truth. Gomez would keep. Jack was busy arranging her new world. He won't be back until Tuesday. This was a half-truth Gomez would keep. Jack was busy arranging her new world before he would meet with her. Rather than Jack was busy arranging her new world before he met with her. He would meet. I'm going to say would meet. Jack was busy arranging her new world before he would meet with her. I like that better. Tenses are better. What exactly am I going to do? You're going to look cute. Well, like that. Sitting at a desk in his office. Now stand there against the closet door. He held up his phone and snapped a picture of her. Who are you sending that to? Mr. Braddock. I think it's perfect, but we'll get his approval. Go on, try a few more outfits. She dug through the bags and found a heavy maroon skirt cut into a trumpet, and it would nearly hang to her ankles. She continued to pull things out. They were all similarly of fine fabric, but frumpy and out of current fashion for the century. She matched a lighter pink blouse and took a hanger into the bathroom with her. Gomez had a similar reaction. taking another picture. The next was a heavy gray wool skirt that hung straight down with a small kick in the back. The blouse was a dark maroon, which went well with the gray, but the high collar and long sleeves distracted from her youth. Good, now put your fists on your hips and look old. She snarled at him. He laughed, taking the picture. Go on now. 5 outfits later, and the bags were still not emptied. The last was no more attractive than the first, though she did enjoy the fine material. Each piece was unconventional and bordered on unattractive. So does he like the outfits? He hasn't told me yet. She pulled up something silky and black. Am I wearing this to the office? No, that would be for home use. No one will be seeing this, correct? No one should. There's a robe that goes with that, but you're moving into a different house, and there are other people that live there, including Mr. Braddock. Do I wear the scar all the time? I believe, except for your bedroom, you'll be going to be moving into the old house with Mr. Braddock's grandmother and assorted family. I reread that. I believe, except for your bedroom, you're going to be moving to the old house with Mr. Braddock. Grandmother and assorted family will come by occasionally. Oh. Comma. And assorted, I'm going to get rid of this. And period. Because those are the people that are in the house permanently. Assorted family will come by occasionally and may stay overnight. Her eyebrows went up to her hairline. I'm moving in with Mr. Braddock and his grandmother. Yes, and you'll be working on your classes in his office during the day. Besides getting him tea, he may assign you other things to do. You might assign you other things as he sees fit. Why is he taking me home? You said you were bored, didn't you? Yes, horribly. Well, this will be your challenge then. Do they know who I am? They know who you are by your profile. You mean they're going to think I'm their cousin? Yes, a very distant cousin. Actually, a friend of a distant cousin. Actually, comma, it needs to be a comma. A friend of a distant cousin now. I'm going to put dots in because I like that. Like, he's thinking, like, actually, a friend of a distant cousin now. You're not a cousin anymore. I'm not a cousin. The orphan daughter of a business associate. And we are... He's being generous and taking care of you. Tentatively misspelled. There it is. And we are, she asked tentatively. He is being generous and taking care of you, as they've been such good friends. Oh, I see. Do I have an accent? No, you have been going to school in the States. He is simply returning a favor to an old friend. I see. His grandmother's tough, but a kind old woman. Be respectful and don't talk back. Is there anyone else I should look out for? Just keep your mouth shut most of the time. Observe. It's always the best thing to do. Do I have any special skills? Superpowers? He snorted in laughter. Just the ones you innately have. And he's going to expect me to dress like this every day? You have some athletic wear in there. Do I have to wear the scar around the family? Yes, I'm afraid so. Like I said, comma. Except for your bedroom, you cannot relax. Someday you could have, he made air quotes with his fingers. You could have plastic surgery and have it repaired. But for now, that needs to draw everyone's attention and be your identifying feature. Play with those moles. You may put one on your neck, or maybe two. Just come up with a pattern and stick with it. Or to it, and stick to it. Is the scar from the accident? What accident? The one where I lost my parents. Yeah. Yes, sure, that's it. How exactly, where did my parents die? Tragically. Don't worry, I'll give you your full profile and all the details before I leave here. Am I a high school graduate? Yes, and you're 20. But I'm... Oh, all right, I'm 20. She swallowed hard. Have I been to school? In college, I mean? No, you were exploring the world and spending time with your parents, deciding what you wanted to do. I see, so I'm a freeloader. Sure. How come I'm 20? You're not old enough to drink, but at least at 20 you're of legal age, and it will give you some respect in the office. Do I look 20? With that scar you look 50. Thank you. I would use the darker lipstick. Why? Because you look different without it. She tilted her head down in understanding. I see. Can you get me eyeshadows, then? I think blues. No, I want the whole palette. I'll play with it, but I need lots of blues. We'll give him the full package. We'll give him the full package. Why are you focused on blue? It doesn't go with my skin tone or my eyes, does it? He nodded his head. Good, I'm glad you understand now. She dug through and found the black slicky robe that matched the nightgown. Then she finally found the package of bras and undies. Well, you are thorough. You don't need me to model these for Mr. Braddock, do you? Sarah managed to make the man blush. No, ma'am, that's fine. You don't need to hang everything up. I've got 2 old suitcases in the back seat I will bring up. I am going to miss the old lady. She's been so kind and nice. Oh, so nice and kind. It helped me keep my sanity. You may see her again. She stays here at the house permanently. So if you ever visit, you can ask Mr. Braddock permission to visit. You need not speak of this place. You understand? You need not speak of this place. You understand? Sarah nodded her head. Can he choose some leisure wear for me that he approves of? And more than one nightgown? I have pajamas, but he may not approve of them. Of course. I want to warn you of one other person. His second cousin, Jacob. When he comes around, try not to speak with him, or best to not interact with anyone, and keep to your room as much as possible. Okay. Is there a study or office in the house? Yes, he has one. Well, I need one for me. I could hide in there as well. We'll outfit your room. She gave him a sour expression again. What have you decided is my major? Finance. Are you going to stay for breakfast? I've already eaten, and I need to get back. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you for letting me have a chance to get out of the building. Are you really that bored here? Yes, truly, horribly bored. You know, I've worked since I was 10. She always loved the shocked expression people got with that piece of information. You have? Yes, and I'm not used to sitting and playing on my phone all day. You told me you'd be giving me accounts as well. I'm sorry, that information's in the car with the suitcase. I'll meet you at the breakfast table. She decided to give the man a heart attack and changed into the black nightgown that dusted the floor and matching robe. They made her way downstairs. He'd already perched himself on a chair at the breakfast table, and she enjoyed seeing his eyes bulge as she made her way downstairs. I'm not sure I'd recommend wearing that around others. Everything's covered up. In fact, it's overly decent. It's eye-catching. She shrugged her shoulder, the scar still attached to her face. This is your profile, and these are your accounts. She took a moment and logged into one of the accounts. To one of the accounts, plural. They're already postings. You can't just pop out of nowhere, can you? Well, that does make sense. These are your friends, and you miss them. He flipped to a page. I see. They, too, have died in a tragic car accident. TR trying to MEMORI the faces. I could not hit the wrong keys. Life would be so much better. Trying to memorize the faces. They too have died in a tragic car accident. Oh, the same one that took my parents. No, this happened earlier. I see, I've had a tragic life. Yes, you do. I'm going to leave this with you. Gomez swallowed hard. I need to get back to the office. And you'll take me to the old house. Mr. Braddock will be taking you to the old house, but I will pick you up from here and transport you to the airport where Mr. Braddock will pick you up. Oh, that's smart. That's very smart. He nodded his head. I'll see you in 2 days. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo, new chapter. She was too excited to eat and tore back upstairs. And she texted Sleeping Beauty. You should be going to bed now. If you don't respond in 10 minutes, I'm going to send you a picture of the nightgown you bought me. She went back through the clothes as she packed them away in the old suitcases, keeping out the skirt with the kick pleat and matching top. She took a picture of her packed suitcases and sent that to him. You have 5 minutes left, and I need at least 2 more suitcases. She flopped herself in the chair by the window and ordered herself an extra baggy sweatpants. She flopped herself in the chair by the window and ordered herself an extra baggy pair of, and a shirt for the times when she would have to walk among others. No, herself. She ordered herself. That's fine. She flopped herself in the chair by the window and ordered herself an extra. I don't like that herself is repeated. Oh, I'm going to say get rid of herself again. It's a repeat. I don't like it. She flopped herself in the chair by the window and ordered an extra baggy pair of sweatpants and a shirt for the times when she would have to walk among the others. Sweatpants and shirt for the times when she'd have to walk among them. Okay. And then a large pair of orange Crocs. And brought orange tennis shoes. If she was going to be frumpy and unattractive, she was going to go all the way and get truly into character. Oh, and truly get into character. She also ordered a box of henna, midnight black. Her amber curls would be well disguised. She'd always wanted to. But knew she would have suffered far too much from her mother, so she never dared to mess with her hair color. Having cut it once without permission, she had suffered a year of retribution until her locks had grown back. It had been 10 minutes. She took a picture of her feet peeking out of the hem of the black silky nightgown. Still no response. Now this I'm going to have to highlight because I cannot get rid of the highlighting here. Right? It won't let me get rid of it. Yep. I'm going to flip back and forth. Let's see. New chapter. Have I done another hour? I think I've read it for another hour. I am out of water. Do I even have the original up? No, I don't even have it. Well, I'm going to take a break then. Go get some more water. Apparently I've read for another hour. I should probably make note of that better. All right, humans, I will see you in a little bit. We're only on page, what is this? 71 of, this doesn't tell you, I think I'm at like 300 pages. Oh, of 384 pages. Well, I got some more reading to do, obviously.